What is up, guys? It is your boy Winster, and I'm back at it again with Michael, aka Folkman. He recently did very well at a regional, and we're gonna go ahead and do a profile. Before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. You guys need to be channel members as well. Let's get to the deck profile.
Give me money.
What deck did you play, bro?
I played Memento Fiendsmith. It was it was like a sleeper deck. Nobody really expected anything. I mean, other than this, the only other weird deck on the top 8 was Evil Eye, which that was surprising. And I didn't really have any trouble with matchups other than breaking, so I feel it was a really good choice for the event.
Okay. All right, wait. I just realized something. Where's the mat?
I gave it away because it looks like garbage. It is like the worst regional mat. Konami needs to do better. That card sucks. That archetype's not great, and the mat sucks. I wanted the engraver mat, and I topped a month too late.
Let's get into the profile.
All right, so we'll start off with the main. We have the 3 CR Darkblade. You have to run the CR because it pops 2. Trust. This card's kind of mid. Every time I was wanting to take something out of the side, I would always get rid of one of these because starting this is not great. You want to start Anguish and have the Forbidden Droplet to be able to negate their own cards. But this is still full combo on its own. You could tutor into the Anguish with it, or you can do something else. I usually would revive it to make Mace. You would afterwards do the 3 Anguish. Anguish on summon just gets you the Vomit Horse, or it gets you Sleepy. And then the second effect to get the level 2 or lower, which is always going to be Goblin or Mace. Usually Goblin, because Goblin just goes fucking crazy.
You're disrespectful, bro. You didn't even mention this is CR.
Well, you don't need to run the CR on this one because she's just broken regardless.
Oh, okay.
This card's doo-doo, but when it's a CR, it's pretty good. 2 of the Vomit Horse. Like, a lot of lists are running 3, but I hate opening this card. Because like it's just gonna eat an Ash anyway if they know what you're playing, or if they know how to play against the deck. And I'd rather them not do that. So, and I also just don't want to open it. I run, as a weird number, I run 2 of these Gaddock guys. He's my favorite Memento in the entirety of the game. He is good at just about everything. He's also just like, he really doesn't tell your opponent what he does, but he can end up being a search 3, he can end up being a steal, he can end up being whatever you want, because you'll just revive him with your Tekutlaka on your opponent's turn, and then like add Sleepy, or you could just revive Anguish to search the Sleepy from the deck, and then you'll revive him afterwards to add another card from your graveyard to your hand. He does way more than he says on the card, and then he just summons off of being sent for the Vomit Horse. So he's just beyond peak. On your opponent's turn, if he's face up on the board, you pop him, you will get to re-revive him. So he's also just additional bodies for blockers if you're playing against like Tenpai. But if you're playing against Tenpai, you're just gonna brick anyway. That's been my experience. Other dumps off of the Vomit Horse, you go the 1 Mace, the 1 Goblin. Mace is the worst of the 2, in my opinion. It is really only good for the hand trap effect to discard while you have Tekutlaka on your board and steal an opponent's monster, and you could just use that to like make a fusion. But Goblin's dummy. His discard effect sucks, and it's just like a worse version of Misk in the Year of Our Lord 2024. But his dump too is nutso, especially since we have Memento Aki Iron now. He effectively says that you have 1 body forever, because he will dump a copy of himself as well, or sorry, a copy of Memento Aki Iron as well as the fusion spell, and then that will get you the ability to then float up into more advantage. I am running the 1 copy of the Horn Dragon. It's just extension. Because I'm on the Fiendsmith version, I like the ability to have the extra body just in case I want to make the Close Moon, Close Heaven, whatever the stupid card's called. Its on-field or its destruction effect rarely comes up, but when it does, it's kind of a blowout, being able to pop 1 monster you control, or 1 Memento card you control, and 2 cards your opponent controls that are face up. It's really good against people who are just leaving up back row, like Floodgates and such. Then you have the one Sleepy. This card is the Memento version of Kieran, except it fusion summons instead of cheats. So if a monster in your possession was destroyed during the turn, you are able to just free summon this from your hand, and then on summon, it'll immediately allow you to fusion summon, and you don't have to use this card. So what you can do is fusion summon either of your two big mementos and blow this up instead to dump another card from your deck, which could be Gaddock. Gaddock could then revive itself, grab another card from your graveyard, or it could dump itself to send one of the spells and traps you can set at the end of the turn. Memento and Akiarn. This card was dummy when it came up. So on summon, it makes your level 9 or higher monsters able to attack directly for the rest of the turn. So you have exactly 8k from that directly. When a monster or Memento monster in your possession is destroyed, it will revive itself, which will then trigger the ability to attack directly for the rest of the turn. And then if it is destroyed, you get to target one banished or engraved Memento card, add that target to your hand. So for example, if you're dumping Memento Fusion, you can, or if you have Memento Fusion on the field and it's in the graveyard, you can go Memento Fusion, banish itself, destroy this, search Bone Party, and this will die, and you'll have the Bone Party in your hand, and this will target to add your Memento Fusion that you just banished. I got the one QCR Big Boy. This is stupid. This card is actually dumb. Everybody just reads it and just thinks it's just a big bungus, but it has like one of the most broken effects in the entire deck of just being able to revive one. You can occasionally bait cards with it by putting it on the board early, having your opponent just use an effect to negate you, which will then revive your graveyard Memento monsters. So I usually just put my Fusion Tootlika in the graveyard to revive it later on using his effect, probably having made SP or something. Well, that's it for the Memento monsters. So after Memento monsters, we just go into the Fiendsmith engine. Kind of have to run 3 engravers in the main. I honestly am not enjoying the Fiendsmith version as much anymore because I keep drawing Lurie. Lurie is a bastard. I hate that card. But most every game I was siding out 2 of these so I could still make the full Fiendsmith combo just by making sending 2 monsters. And it was just good enough because I wouldn't draw any of this garbage. And like at best you're using, I'm most of the time just using this to eat a hand trap or 2 or eat some bestials. You also run the one of Lurie that is mandatory for this. I don't like, it's not that I don't like, I really haven't tried the build with Lacrima yet. So I haven't really put any thought into what I need to do with Lacrima in this variant, so I'm just still in the Lurie. I like Lurie because it's a level 1. The ability to make Anima in this deck without using Mace or Goblin feels very good and very critical in certain situations. Sometimes I will just activate track, summon Lurie to make Anima instead of actually doing the Fiendsmith combo. That's it for monster-based engine. Then we go into the hand traps. We have 3 Ash, 3 Veiler. These are the only monster hand traps I'm running. I do not value, personally, I don't value the Moltrami cards. I don't want the possibility of drawing into my one-ofs that make my deck not function anymore if I draw them. So I just run the 3 of these, which are really good at stopping Ash, Oak, the Snake Eyes cards. Good for this. This is good at stopping just about anything else. And then also running the 3 Purple Veiler, because it's just this, except you can also shotgun it in your draw phase to bait out the Azamina Omni Negate, which I don't really fear Azamina with this archetype. So on from those, we'll go on to the actual spells. 3 Memento Bone Party. Bone Party just lets you dodge any type of targeting hand trap. Veiler Imperms just lose to this card. It also, so what it's doing is you're destroying a Memento from your hand or field, and then you're special summoning or searching a Memento monster from your deck. If you're special summoning it, putting it into defense. This is the only Memento spell that's activatable in the draw phase, so even today for locals, I was able to destroy a Sleepy in my hand summon a Memento Anguish, which then allowed me to dump Gaddock. Gaddock would add the Sleepy back. Anguish was able to search an actual starter for my main phase, and I effectively just played a full turn in my draw phase and then went to my main phase to just clean up and board break and then sweep. And then also this has a hidden little effect in the graveyard to where you can make your Memento monsters able to do piercing battle damage. So if you see your opponents playing like a bunch of defense position monsters, my specific instance was against Branded, where a lot of them have really low stat lines. You banish this from your graveyard, make this guy able to attack directly, and if he's the only one on your field, he can attack all your opponent's monsters once each. 100% you're killing if they're setting like 3 or more, because he's 5k. Past that, we have Memento Fusion, which is the best spell trap in the deck in my opinion. This card does just about everything. It is incredibly modular. On your turn, you're most of the time only making Memento monsters. So you're making either the Memento Tequila Fusion, which dumps 3, or you're making the Twin Dragon, which is going to search 2 by destroying itself and then revive another card. You use this in the main phase most of the time to dodge effects, because they don't expect you to open 2 sets of broken quick plays. And in the graveyard, it has an effect to banish itself, destroy any monster you control, not only a Memento, and search a Memento spell or trap. So you can go from this into your Bone Party rather easy. And again, if you're like popping your Aki Iron, you just get this back rather than losing your Memento fusions. I did side one of these out for specific matchups. I can't remember which ones, but it was, I mean, you're always going to see it. It's just your best card. After that, I have the tech spells. So I got the 3 Forbidden Droplet. This card is really good in combination with Memento Fusion and Anguish. If you're summoning Anguish, you can just pitch her because you don't need a monster on the field to summon the Vomit Horse. And the Fusion spell, you could just pitch it if you have multiple copies, or even if you don't, because the Graveyard effect can also search a copy of itself. And then since we have trap cards in this deck, we can make it effectively like entirely unrespawnable. You can also send your field spell, your other Memento monsters that are being targeted by stuff. It's more so to dodge cards than it really is, in my opinion, to negate. But the negate is a good bonus. I just don't care if I'm going to hit you directly for 8k. Then we got the one-up spells. We got the Memento Micklin. This card is amazing. I wish I could run more than one, but you kind of just have to run it at 1. It's searchable off the big fusion by banishing it from the graveyard. And then it makes all of your Memento monsters able to float into an additional monster when they're destroyed by targeting them in the graveyard. You can special summon 1 Memento monster with a lower level from your hand or graveyard. So a lot of the times when you're summoning the Twin Dragon, you can have it destroy itself and revive 2, which then you can go into the full Fiendsmith combo from that. Or you can just you can make your Vomit Horse become not only a dump 3 but also a dump 3 and summon 1, which then becomes a search. After that, we go with the one tracked. You just have to run it. This is a Fiendsmith card. It says it right there. It's got the boy. You search Lurie. You get rid of the child. The child comes back, unfortunately, and then you just do your full Fiendsmith combo. Or they Ash Blossom this, and then you go off because you now know you can't be Ash Blossomed on your Vomit Horse, which makes me want to die. And then you have the one trap card other than the hand trap imperms in the main, the Cranium Burst. Cranium Burst just shits on Asmina. They just don't get a play. Like nobody I played against was running Ogres. Ogre can respond to this and pop it when you're trying to negate, but if they don't do that, you just have a 5 negate Apollosa effectively with your Tequila. Reduces your Tequilica's attack and defense by 1,000 each time your opponent activates an on-field monster effect and negates it. So like if they attempt to activate Ash, you can go remove 1,000, negate. If they attempt to activate the second effect of Ash, you can just do it again. They attempt to summon Dio Bellstar, or if they summon Dio Bellstar, attempt to use effect, you just negate that. And it also is really funny in Centurion. I saw one of that during the event. I just negated their effects to go back. Then they can't be trap cards. It's very funny. That was not funny for my opponent at the very least. From there, we'll go into the extra deck. I'm running just 2 of him. Most of the time, you're just using his effect to dump the other copy. And, like, if it's in the graveyard, I will just keep reviving it back with Tekutlaka. This also banishes itself from the graveyard to be able to search the field spell. On summon, this dumps 3 cards from your deck and her extra deck, so it's like including itself if you didn't already have the field spell, and then 2 other names, or you dump the Cranium Burst to set off the field spell that you're guaranteed to get off this stupid shit. Actually absurd. And then it's a better version of DPE, targeting any number of monsters, Memento monsters you control, and any number of cards your opponent controls, and it destroys them. So your monsters don't need to remain on the field, so you can target all of yours and then just fusion them away to make something like Dragostapelia or something, or hell, even the Twin Dragon again. So it just eats through boards. After that, you get the 1 of Twin Dragon. This card's really dumb. On summon, destroy a Memento from hand or field, search 2 Memento monsters with up to 2 Memento monsters with different names, and then when it's destroyed, you get to special summon a Memento monster that's a level 6 or lower from your graveyard. Another card with a hidden effect, though. I figured this out at the regional. I've never used it before, but if this card is on the field, Memento monsters you control that battle your opponent's monsters and destroy them by battle are banished instead. So you just can summon him back and just go through your opponent's shit. They lose just about everything. So if they lose their Flamberge, they cry. From there, we got the Tech Fusions. Dragostapelia and Chimera. These are effectively the same thing. This is just your free negate. This is a pop 2, draw 1, or pop 1, draw 2. Pretty self-explanatory with the fusion spell because it's just generic. We have the rest of the Fiendsmith engine. I never went into this. This card kind of just didn't do anything for me. But this, you know, she does be making this guy with the guy, and that stops Centurion. So it's just enough. We got the rest of the Fiendsmith stuff. Just pretty self-explanatory. If you're running Fiendsmith, you're just running all of these. This eats hand traps. People don't like seeing this hit the board because it's just going to become this. I also use this in conjunction with the Fiendsmith to remove a monster from the field, but other than that, it's just standard Fiendsmith. The 1 Anima, we have 3 level 1s in the deck, so just the ability to make Anima is very nice. The 1 IP Masquerena, I never went into it. I want a QCR of it, even though I've never summoned it, like, in any of the games I've played. But it's nice that it's there. We have the 1 Dark. Dark was really good because I just stole my Asmine opponents like Diabell Stars or any of the Dark monsters in the graveyard to just go into SP to banish their stuff. Or I just used him to make the rest of the Fiendsmith route and also have another attacker on board, something like Imseti or something. And then lastly for the extra deck, we have the SP. She's the best Link monster in the game in my opinion. I love this card. Perfect going first, perfect going second. There's not a single bad thing on this card. It is protection for Tekutlaka if your opponent's trying to nib you. I never got nibbed. I guess people just weren't running it, which is fair. I don't feel it's good enough for this format. And then lastly, we got the Sideboard, which has the 1 of Emotional Support card. I just couldn't think of a 15th card, and I was just like, oh, she's cute looking. We got the 1 of Tekutlaka as an extra. 3 Ogre to out Centurion. And any other cards that we're putting 1 face up spell trap and activating. Droll for searching decks, but like I didn't really need it most of the time. 2 Nib. I also put this in against Centurion just in case they were cheeky and decided to summon 5 times. The Lullaby of Obedience I thought was really funny. I've had this in the sideboard for a bit. It doesn't really do enough, but I think it's really funny against Rescue Ace to steal their Turbulence. And then lastly, I got Foolish Burial Goods, which I also never teched in, and Fracture Dance, which I also didn't tech in because nothing called for it. I just negated their on-field monster effects.
Wow. Emotional support, the cream, bro. Well, congrats. Again, thank you for the profile. Any shout-outs or anything?
You can check out my channel under Basically. I'm going to try to start posting, but, like, I just have to have, you know, drive to do it. I had the drive to top the regional, but, like, This is gone now. I'm tired. I need a nap.
Oh, well, congrats again, bro, on 7th place, was it?
Yeah, 7th place.
Let's go. Well, until next time, guys. Peace out, guys.